Sure. Ask me whatever you want. Now answer my question.
I'm not vaccinated. Are you?
I am. How about your parents, your wife, your kids?
You were hesitant.
No, I got vaccinated.
I'm here with my friend and the owner of Basilico's, Tony Roman.
Great to be here. I'm gonna ask you the same. I'm gonna ask you the same thing. Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Is your family vaccinated?
Yes.
See, what you're not getting, you're failing the IQ test. What you're not getting, which I expected, what you're not getting is that this is not an anti-vaccine stand. It's a pro-freedom stand. That's what you're not getting.
What is the difference when you are ignoring the science that suggests that if you get vaccinated, you protect yourself, you protect the people around you, and you help us get out of this pandemic a little bit faster?
So what's next then? Are we all going to lock ourselves in our homes whenever there's a flu outbreak or there's an outbreak of a common cold? Are we going to lock ourselves inside our homes and wear a moon suit? I mean, where does it end?
I want to get just your direct reaction to this clip. Have you seen this one or no?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm excited then. So this is what he said on Quake Media, whatever that is.
You told me about it. I didn't know. Yeah.
So this is the live reaction. Let me know what you think about what he's saying. It's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
I believe if government were to now say, we just made a finding that there's a new virus and everyone should do X, Y, and Z, the amount of compliance with X, Y, and Z would be much, much lower than it was at the beginning of COVID because people do not trust the government, especially on this issue, the way they did at the beginning. And that would be a complicating factor, right? When you have people who just don't listen, because government had no capacity to enforce any of this. You must wear a mask. And people wore masks in New York. But if they said, I'm not wearing a mask, there was nothing I could do about it. You must close your private business. I won't. Well, there was nothing I could really do about it. It was really all voluntary, and it was extraordinary when you think about it, that society acted with that uniformity voluntarily, because I had no enforcement capacity. So you have a reduced trust in government.
Can you believe that?
Andrea and Chrissy, that's what I call him. Him and his brother. It was funny when I was on Cuomo. I actually said to him at one point, "The conversation I'm having with you, I should really be having with your brother."
Yeah, good. I appreciate that too because I know you talk a lot. So my stance here is a pro-freedom stand only. It's not political. If you come down here, you're not going to see a Trump flag flying over the roof. Okay, you're not going to see campaign signs. You're not going to see campaign slogans or political slogans ever. Okay, you're only going to see pro-freedom messages, and that's it. And you're not going to drag me down the hole talking about the science. This is not about whether I'm pro-vaccine or not. I'm pro-freedom, anti-tyranny. Okay. And maybe the conversation should really be between me and your brother. That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe so.
Right.
And that pissed him off. But it was a shot I was taking at him. But, he's right. He's 100% right. He bluffed everybody, and almost everybody folded. It's funny for me because you think New Yorkers and how they try to always project strength. Tough guys, or in New York, we're tough. But they were really weak. And it surprised me because no other city and state could have handled something like 9/11 like they did. No other state would have had the strength to handle it the way they did. So to see them fold like cheap lawn chairs when he said shut down. When we put our billboard up in LA during the mask mandates in the thick of the lockdowns in 2020, we did it in LA because I always said, like, if you're going to fight these people, invade enemy territory. Don't do it in Orange County where I'm at. I'm already fighting them here. I now want to go to LA too because we're getting a lot of death threats and calls, and everybody up there hated us. So we put our billboard up: leave the mask, take the cannoli. It was our way of fighting with a smile. It was our way to taunt mock, and shame the enemy. And it was so hard to get that billboard done, but I tried to get one actually done in New York. I wanted to get one done across from his office, to mock him too, and nobody would do it. Even all the media companies in New York wouldn't touch me. They said that I was encouraging crime, I was encouraging something that was controversial, and nobody would touch it. So that kind of gave me an idea of what I was dealing with in New York. We got a lot of support from people in New York, but like I told people all along, even here, people would walk in here and tell me their story, and they would say to me the words, "I had to shut down." I said, and then I'd stop them. What did you say? And they say, I had to shut down. I had to close our business. You had to? No, you didn't have to do anything. Imagine if the great patriots of 1776 were threatened with a $500 fine, or to wear a red scarf to support the British Empire, or else, most of these guys were people that had a lot to lose, more than almost all of us. In comparison, it's relative, but they had farms, they had businesses, they had privilege, they had prestige, they had high profile. A lot of them were shopkeepers, and they laid it all on the line. Everything. You think of John Hancock. John Hancock himself was probably the wealthiest of them all, and he said, "Bring it on." And these guys were taking on not Chris Cuomo. Not Andrew Cuomo. They were taking on the greatest empire in military in the world,
right?
And they didn't even have an army yet. And they were taunting. Think about John Hancock. I talk about this all the time. When he signed the Declaration of Independence, he knew that the King of England had bad eyesight, so he wanted to make sure that he saw his signature, and he was like, "Fuck you! This is
right.
Come and get me, And so he's actually, what he's doing right now is he's almost taunting all those people that folded. He's almost mocking them by saying, "You little bitches," Go ahead.
I was going to say, it reminds me of what you're talking about with Hancock and them. I think it's hard times create strong men. Strong men create easy times.
Yes.
Easy times create weak men. And now I had friends out here, even in Orange County, that there would be a place that would tell me to put on a mask. And I said, "Let me sit at the outdoor table." And if they said no, I would leave. And my friends would get mad. And they're conservative, right? They had a Trump hat on or whatever. And I'm like, you're not even willing to walk 20 steps to another restaurant to get our way.
Yep.
I would starve. There's a difference
That's
of
right.
level. I don't have to starve because it's easy to get food, but it's the fact that you won't even we're well fed and we could go over there.
Yeah.
And you're mad that but if everyone did that, it would have ended.
That's right.
And now you see stuff like this, where he's taunting and saying, you didn't actually have to listen. All your friends who told you what I'm telling you now were actually right. My question is, just real quick, you got fined. There's a lot of businesses in New York that are going to watch this and say, I did stay open and I got fined. What do you think about it?
It's a badge of honor. We got fined. We had criminal cases against us. We had ABCs trying to strip us of our liquor license, which is hard-earned and valuable.
Right.
We got. I had. The media was blasting us. We had Hollywood on our ass. We had death threats. I had my landlord trying to throw us out. I'm talking about death threats by the hundreds, where our phones would ring so much that we wouldn't even answer them anymore because the guys had to serve tables, where I had to tell customers, "Well, you sit at the bar and answer the phone. I'll pay for your dinner," because my guys are too busy answering it.
Right.
And when I would walk in, this is the way you have to think. When I would walk in at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and I would ask the guys about the phone calls that were coming in, when they would tell me about the supporting phone calls, I said, "No, I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about the hate call." That's what I loved. You have to love the fight. It's got to almost be fun, And when the consequences are huge, that's when you're in a battle that matters. The consequences are small. Who fucking cares? But to your point, for me, what drives me nuts is I get these people come in here, stolen valor everywhere. Stolen valor is the worst. And guys like him too that are trying to maybe, not only is he trying to insult and mock, but and sticking the knife deep in your heart, but he's also he's probably trying to revise his revise history and the resume that he has, so he can maybe make a run for public office. And he's trying to make everybody forget about that stuff. So I think so when people would walk in here and they would say to me, "Oh, Tony, yeah, man, I'm a patriot, I'm a conservative," and I would say to them, yeah, that's fine, but I think to myself, really? Like, what does that fucking mean? Like, what have you fucking done? What have you? Patriots were the guys of 1776. Like, you're gonna compare yourself to them? Like, what have you fucking done? What have you sacrificed? What have you laid on the line? What have you given up for your country, right? And usually the answer is nothing. Like you said, everyone's a big talker, put the red fucking hat on, and then the minute they feel the squeeze, they fold or they run. And I told people, even when you don't think anyone's looking, when you compromise and you surrender, you did. You subjugated yourself to another man, and you have to look at yourself in the mirror, and it's going to scar your soul. It's going to scar your self-respect. It's going to haunt your soul. It's going to haunt you forever. And the businesses too, they may have pretended like, oh, we got through it, it's cool, we shut down for a little while, but we opened it. Let me tell you something, you think your business, when you open it back up again, is going to be the same. It's not, because you're going to have the scars of surrender on the walls of your restaurant or your business forever. It's going to haunt you. So hopefully we all get another chance, and there's a lot of people out there that need to prove themselves to get their Patriot card, because for me, hearing people say it over and over again drives me nuts. I tell people there has to be, what's the standard for fighting too? For a while, people would come in here and they would say, "Hey, I know this guy. He's like you. He's fighting like you." And because I'm a modest guy, I'd be like, "Yeah, that's cool," But it got to the point where I was sick of being nice. There was no time for being nice. And I was like, don't fucking bring that stuff in here. Let me tell you something. Nobody did what we did. Nobody took a hard-ass stand the way we did, where we went on the attack from day one. We didn't hide. We weren't a speakeasy. We didn't make masks optional. We didn't just open outside. We didn't fight partially. I said to people, if this was just a door with a dirt on it, we'd have done the same fucking thing. And what's really cool is that Andrew Cuomo's face is still on your screen. I feel like I'm talking to him, which is really good. But I'm staring at him and trying to look at the screen. But anyway, so those guys, Chris and Andrew, they acted like they hated guys like me. But I think they were projecting. I think they wish they could be us, because these guys want to be allowed into the alpha men's club. And if they tried, we'd slam a door in their face, and they know they can never get in. Now they want to get in, but it's too late. But people need to remember what they did. But people forget. People go soft. Our side always goes soft. Never forgive these guys, ever.
So I did a stream today. I want to get your response to this situation, because people like Stephen A. Smith, the Cuomo brothers, it seems almost like there's a coordinated effort in the last 2 weeks to say everything that we were saying in 2020 and just act like it's mainstream, or they always did it, or they learned their lesson and they're coming to the bright side. And some people see through it. Others are like, well, shouldn't we forgive everybody? Yeah. And I think if they're really sorry, but if they're not sorry and they're just playing a role. So what's your opinion about that when it comes to Chris Cuomo? Now he's on a podcast. Stephen A. Smith is podcasting. I don't know what Andrew Cuomo is doing, but to me it doesn't come off authentic. And I think people thinking that they just saw the light recently, it takes no courage to say what they're saying now. Yeah. For the Cuomo brothers now to be sounding like this, but during it,
man, you said the name perfectly. You said it perfectly. Good job. Now I know you're Italian.
It's because I speak the language. Let me guess, you don't. But here's what I'm asking you. Tony.
I love it.
Is this a little bit of a joke? Can you give me some hope that you really don't want people to not get vaccinated so they can come to your restaurant?
That's a good question. You're a smart guy. It's an IQ test. And like I say to people when they ask me, if they're so blinded with their rage and their hate, I tell them, you know what, if you still don't understand it, maybe we should put up a sign up that says you're too stupid to come into the restaurant. I mean, it's very simple. Just like you said, I think you figured it out. Am I right?
I don't even know what you're saying right now. Tell me, so what's the deal? What is the difference when you are ignoring the science that suggests that if you get vaccinated, you protect yourself, you protect the people around you, and you help us get out of this pandemic a little bit faster.
So what's next then? Are we all going to lock ourselves in our homes?
Talking down to you, even though it didn't work, and just condescending and rude. Like you said, I think they knew what they were doing then, and I think they know what they're doing now, and I don't buy this narrative. So I guess the question is, should people let them in with open arms, or should they be skeptical?
Like I just said, the Alpha Men's Club, you got to like have a guy at the door checking IDs. Those guys show up, you throw their asses out. You know, maybe you make them scrub the floor for you, you know, while they're there, you know, pay them $1 an hour and have them scrub the floor, and then you kick them out. But these, for me, when I go into battle about on any level, on any issue, like I need to know the guy next to me. Like if you went into a foxhole with him, like he's not going to run, he's not going to turn, he's not going to backstab you, betray you, or whatever. So you need to. For me, if I look at a man's history and I see that he's wobbled at some point, I can't trust him ever again. I will never trust him. I will remind him over and over again. You know, if he's around, am I going to attack him? No, I don't really care. You know, he's meaningless to me. I want people, like you were saying earlier about your friend. You're doing a documentary. It sounds unbelievable. I can't wait to see it. But people like him that are principled and. They don't just go, you know, with the flow. They actually have a spine, and it's not for sale. You know, their principles, their values, their beliefs are not for sale ever. And these guys can't be trusted. So when they speak, don't even listen. Don't listen to a word they say. It's worthless. And Cuomo, it's funny because even when I was doing the interview with him, I remember thinking to myself, like, this guy secretly admires me. I know he does. And guys like me. And it turned out I was right. It was funny, too. After I was done with him, with the interview, his brother resigned. Chris got fired. And then right after the interview, the Baldwin brothers started coming after me online. Went to war with them. And then we know what happened to the brother. He shot somebody, and he's in trouble now. So it's like, you know, when God's on your side, man, people just bounce off and bad things happen to them.